And mine. Thank you, Nia. Thank you. Now to money, the political weapon. For the month of January, Governor Mitt Romney's campaign raised $6.5 million. Former Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich raised $900,000 less. He raised $5.6 million. And Senator Rick Santorum and Congressman Ron Paul each raised $4.5 million, which is about $1.1 million less than Speaker Gingrich. So based on the numbers, Governor Romney appears to have the momentum, but not so fast. Numbers can be very deceiving. And Jonathan Strong from Roll Call joins us. Jonathan, they all raised in the campaign about the same amount, not that much different, and then you have the influence of the super PACs.
Right, and that's where we see huge sums of money coming in, and it's evened out the playing field because you can have unlimited sized donations from wealthy benefactors, and Gingrich in particular has benefited from this, and he is the momentum in terms of when you combine his fundraising for his campaign and the super PAC he actually raised the most in January.
All right, one of his benefactors to his super PAC has said he's going to contribute $10 million. And then he was quoted today saying something to the effect that he might give $100 million. Now,
I read that quote, and I thought he was being flippant. I thought that he was just throwing that out there.
He's a billionaire, so maybe $100 million probably isn't that much to him.
But the thing is, though, he has so much money that would not be that much money for him. And if you look at how many hours it would take him to make the $11 million that he gave already, it's like less than a week's worth of work for him because he's got all this money coming in from his casinos.
To what extent has there been a correlation between money and votes?
What votes for? I mean,
all the money that was spent, for instance, by the Romney campaign, did they get the votes? I mean, are they paying a premium for these votes or not?
Well, I think that Romney has, he's done the best with his money, right? Because every time he's gone in and run these attack ads, or his super PAC has run the attack ads, those guys, whoever he's targeting, have gone right down in the polls with their approval numbers. But other people like Newt Gingrich, he spent, $15 million, including his super PAC in January, and he did not get a lot of bang for that buck.
Were his ads negative, or were they about his ideas? Gingrich?
Well, he's gone back and forth. One day he's going to be the positive campaigner, and the next day he's eviscerating Romney for being a liar.
How about Senator Santorum? How's he doing in raising money?
He was at one point, he was so far back behind the pack you had to use binoculars to see him, but he's caught up since. He's now in view, but he's still in last place.
And is that, but he may be in last place raising money, yet he's doing quite well in Michigan and in Arizona, but maybe that's because he's playing to the base.
Well, yeah, money's not everything, but it certainly helps a lot for airtime to get on the TV with those advertisements. But he's tapping into that conservative angst about Mitt Romney really well.
How about President Obama? How's he doing? How's he doing raising? How's his super PAC doing?
His super PAC did dismally in January, $59,000. My suspicion is that some of his donors were afraid that they would be called a threat to democracy, which is what he called super PACs when they originally came out after the Citizens United decision.
Well, although he also was not. He also said he's going to take public funding, and he changed his mind, so he can probably change his mind in terms of what he thinks about super PACs.
Right. Now, he has given this blessing to his political aides, go forth and raise super PAC funds, so we'll see how that happens.
Well, look, he doesn't like super PACs, but if he doesn't let his super PAC raise money, he really is cutting himself off.
That's true.
That could be fatal, maybe.
Maybe.
So why did they only raise $59,000? That is pretty bad.
He had not yet said to his political network, go ahead and do this.
How about his campaign? He's been out campaigning. He's been out raising money.
Yeah, a lot of money. And when you combine it with the Democratic National Committee, it's a pretty impressive figure, and they've got a lot of cash on hand. It's going to be a formidable machine for Republicans to go against. Is
it going to be about, right now, are they about even in terms of how much money they have, the RNC and the campaigns and President Obama?
It's pretty close. It's pretty close. It's about even. The Republicans, I think, had a slight edge.
Although the Republicans are probably spending money a lot more. The campaigns, they're running right now. they've got to.
Romney is just burning through cash. He spent $32 million in January, way more than he was bringing in. That's a lot of money to go through.
Well, see, now that's a problem. If you're spending that kind of money, and you're not way ahead, if you are running even with Senator Santorum in Michigan and Arizona, that's not a particularly good sign that you're getting a lot of bang for your buck.
It's worrying. If you're a Romney supporter, you have to be a little bit worried that they went through all that cash.
How about, is Romney worried?
I haven't seen him concede that he's worried yet.
Well, the money thing is just extraordinary, and it has such a huge influence. So we'll have to see. Thanks, Jonathan.
Thanks.
Tonight, Congresswoman Michelle